Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. In this video we are going to take a close look at the Chuwi CoreBox. So this is the new version with the new generation of Intel chipset inside. Chuwi is a company that is not really a new contender on the market of mini PCs. I've reviewed all kinds of products from theirs and I must say that they are not bad at all. I have seen a lot of cool products coming out like the Chuwi Larkbox and also the CoreBox and other cool ones, and even the tiny ones that you can just hold in your hand. This device comes with a very nice weight to it, because the overall quality of this product is quite nice. So first of all, let's do a quick overview of the CoreBox and the new specifications. The Chuwi CoreBox, the mini PC. This comes with the Intel Core i5, the 13th generation, also known as the 13500H. This is a frequency of 3.5 GHz all the way turbo to 4.8 GHz. And yep, it comes also with Windows, with different configurations like with Linux. Over here I have the memory. This one comes with 16 GB, that's more enough for just casual use and some light gaming. And the storage capacity is 512 GB, but you can just actually see we have all kinds of different configuration that you can order from the page. So if you want to save some money or you want to have like the maximum storage capacity in combination with a shitload of, let's say, RAM, you can do that. The Chuwi CoreBox, I was really intrigued by this product due of the way how this thing actually looks. But also what can we do when it comes to, let's say, upgrading, and how is it when it comes to unboxing the product in general. So first of all, in here we're having the manual and some other information. Here you can just actually see they're providing a lot of good detailed overall explanations if you have any problems whatsoever. The system itself over here, and then in here we're finding the tiny box, and inside the box we're finding the power supply and everything that we're going to need for connecting this device. Okay, so the power supply has been delivered by Handkey. That's a brand that I have seen before with normal power supplies. This is a 19 volts, in total 120 watts. They also provide a mounting bracket, so that's one of the features we're having when it comes to the Chuwi device. The case design, that is something they don't really changed out in the last couple of years when I'm looking at, say, let's say, different models they've released. But I must say the cool art on top, that looks kind of cool, with a nice sticker of Intel Core i5. But also when it comes, let's say, the way how they made it, there's one thing I am not a big fan of, and that is more the rubberized stuff they're having at the front, but also at the back. And the reason why this can get sticky over time, and I mean not like within a couple of years, it needs a lot of years to basically become sticky, but I don't really understand why they're doing this, simply because they have no extra value when it comes to these products. Think about when you're having a Bluetooth speaker, for example, and you want to have like a resistance, at least like a minor resistance to water. Yeah, I can understand, but with the PC, you also see it with gaming laptops. Yeah, I really hate it. Okay, so one thing is clear, that this mini PC, it's still mini, but it's not that mini like the previous model we've reviewed here on the channel. Okay, so what are we getting at the front? So first of all, we're having the on and off switch and some couple of USB ports. A very nice looking micro switch, on and off switch over here. But at the front we're finding a USB Type-C and two USB 3.0 ports. It's very convenient when it comes to the connections at the front. Simply if you want to plug in, let's say, a storage device or a controller for gaming, it's such an absolutely in plus. Plus we have multiple ports, so that's absolutely a great thing. So at the back of the device we do have a lot of connections. And first of all we're having the input for the power supply, the RJ45, the jack out. So what I find very interesting, we have the option for 2 HDMI and 2 display ports who have different connectivities. And we're even having 4 3.0 ports at the back. So this thing in total has 6 USB ports. I find it very cool, simply because I think it is something I'm always having not enough of. And using extra converter is an option, but it's not going to be interesting. If you want to use like a lot of, let's say, USB splitters, it's not going to be a good thing. But another thing, let's open it up. And also, let's talk about how you need to display it on your case. So first of all, you can put it like this, two huge rubber feet at the bottom. But also what you can do is just put it at the side, where I think is one of the coolest things you can do with it. And the window tip off, that easy. So, and overall when it comes to the case design, I completely understand why they keep doing this, because this case design is really nice. Okay, so if you want to open it up, you need to break the seal, so that's unfortunate. So that is what we're going to do, and we're going to be in kind of a naughty. Okay, so let's open it up, and of course this thing is still sticking. do this freaking annoying sticker. Okay, let's get this thing off. So when it comes to the bottom part, it's just flexible plastic with a filter in front of it. So you can just see there are basically two intakes for the fan, but there's actually one fan inside of this. So when it comes to, let's say, the space inside this thing, yeah, they did some changes when I'm looking at the previous model and this particular one. So I think it's a very cool, let's say, way. It would be even more cooler, and I think there is no graphic card going, like say, on the market anytime soon that will fit in this case. But it would be awesome to have like a machine like this, and in the future you can just slap a GPU in it, even if it's a low profile, like a low spec one, to have a little bit more GPU power. And later on I will show you why this is when it comes to playing some games. But also when it comes to, say, the upgradability, there is nothing much we can do. Another interesting choice what they have made, if you're going to remove this piece of plastic, it's just double-sided tape. Here you can actually see that we're having option for dual channel memory, but they implemented only one of them. And yeah, that is something I don't really get why they're doing this, because dual channel, it gives this thing, well, I'm not saying like a huge advantage, but will give it at least like an advantage. So yeah, that's something we need to change out maybe on. And let's remove the module. So they also slapped on a piece of plastic, and maybe this is for cooling. It's nothing of a piece of metal. Yeah, it's kind of a metal, so it gives it a little bit of cooling. They also added an extra foam on it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but also weird configuration what they're doing over here. But the thing is, can we remove this piece? Yes, we can remove it. So they're using the Crucial with this particular RAM module and 16 gigabyte DDR5. So absolutely cool. But okay, let's slap it back in and let's start up the machine. But if you don't want to mess around with the RAM module or want to avoid any warranty, you can just open up the top part over here. This is, by the way, a piece of metal, so that's very nice and gives it a more quality feeling and also gives it most of the weight of the device. But in here we're finding the NVMe. There is no upgrading so far I have seen for a second one. That would be absolutely cool. Two of this thing has a lot of space. And do I have the right screwdriver? No, I don't have the right screwdriver. I'm always having this issue. So that's the thing. I need freaking three screwdrivers to open up this thing, because the top one are Imbus, the other ones are Phillips screwdrivers, and this is a smaller part, or a smaller one. So if you want to upgrade the internal storage device, you can just do that fairly easy over here by removing it. So let's check out if we can showcase what kind of, let's say, SSD they're using. They have like a good brand, Crucial, when it comes to the memory. Let's remove this bad boy. And wow, okay. And there is no brand whatsoever on this. So let's check out what kind of chip. For a C, and no, there is nothing of an, let's say, thing going on over here. The same thing with this very tiny piece of metal they're putting on there. Completely understand for giving this thing some cooling, so let's try to put it back on. Alright, is this the right way? Yes. And let's assemble the NVMe back in. Because we're going to be booting up this device as is and see how the performance are. Okay, so let's do a first boot up when it comes to the Chuwi. So the next thing we need to do is choose our language and of course the location, everything to set up Windows. So what you can do when it comes to this, let's say when it comes to certain problems, including like Microsoft accounts, it's highly possible that you can just like boot it up straight into Windows without any problem whatsoever. Okay, keyboard layout, I'm just going to be using a single one. Let's go back, let's skip this. And again, you can just go to, let's say, Microsoft and have the account enabled. But let's not do that, just sell your soul and don't forget that part. Let's give this thing a name. And there we go. All right, the Chuwi CoreBox, that's what it's called. Let's continue. Oh man, I did a typo. Did I do a typo? It's very difficult to see from this point. I'm recording and trying to talk with you guys. And let's give me a bigger screen. And all right, the CoreBox, Chuwi CoreBox, let's go. No password. If you're not going to do this, it's going to be so much more easier to log in. So next thing what you're going to check out is skipping everything or putting everything on no. Diagnostic data. You know, there's a lot of information you're going to be sending to Microsoft. Okay, next up, we're disabling so much as possible. It will take a couple of seconds, What I do love about these mini PCs, compared with, say, sometimes installing a brand new Windows, you need to put in a Microsoft account. There are some like workarounds to that, but like with these mini PCs, just like put in your name, put in your preference, and just go with it. Let's do a quick wicked nerdy time with some specifications and CPU set. We're having here the Intel Core i5, the 13000, the 500H. Its code name called Raptor Lake, 45 watts TDP, socket the 1744. So when it comes to this, the TDP cannot be adjusted anything in the let's say the BIOS. I've checked it out. So the manufacturer is the Chuwi Innovation and Technology with a boss spec of PCI Express 4.0. Memory, DDR5, 16GB. The weird thing is that we do have dual slot, but they're only using one. It's a little bit of a bummer in my opinion. So then I'm having over here the graphics, then we're having the onboard Intel graphics. So that's unfortunate, there is no, let's say, NVIDIA, RTX or GTX in here. It's just going to be the onboard that we're going to be testing out. But also another thing I wanted to check out between all of the tests, how are the temperatures? So first of all, it's hitting the 77 Celsius. But with the multi-core testing, oh yeah, the package is going to be all the way up to 99 Celsius. So pushing this thing to the maximum limit. And I can say that this thing is actually like thermal throttling over here. So in total, we're going to get ourselves 13,935 points when it comes to the GPU multi-core. That's particularly one I wanted to check out. So we're getting really close, as Cinebench said over here, when it comes to the scores. So the next thing is going to be the AMD Ryzen Threadripper 1950X 16-core processor. Okay, so we're starting off with some Outrun 2006, a classic game. Put on full HD, every single setting on, or actually like the anti-aliasing is one of those couple of settings you can basically enable on this. But you can see that these old games run just perfectly fine on this, and I think it's really damn awesome to see this. So one of those indie games I love to play is Broforce, and the reason why is because this is a very, let's say, interesting game to check out, and a lot of stuff is actually happening on this, and you will see that we have a lot of struggles. GPU pushing it to the 99%, of course running with 100, almost 140 FPS, completely overkill of course, but I just wanted to see how far we can push it and how does it actually work. Because with cheaper, let's say, or older chipsets I've tried out back in the day, I can still remember that I struggled playing this particular game. But now, with such a powerful CPU-GPU combination from Intel, we do have the option to play more demanding indie games. Of course, it runs way too much, let's say, frames per second, but I still wanted to check out how far we can push it and how crazy this game is. Alright, so next up, let's take a close look at some Street Fighter, or better, Super Street Fighter 4, just an older fighter game. I'm just going to put everything on 1080p, maximum settings, just see how far we can push it, with not even like saying extra dedicated graphics card. I just was really curious how this old bad boy is going to be running.
I feel all that exists. Face the mighty. Who will emerge a champion? Fight!
But where we're going to have a lot of struggles is with three-dimensional games, and in particular when you're looking at some games like Crash Bandicoot, everything has been set to low or off settings. And it's quite fascinating to see that we can just actually play this, but unfortunately we're not even hitting the 50 FPS on this chipset, and that's quite unfortunate. Starting off with the PlayStation 2 on 2K resolution. Just wanted to check out how far we can push this thing, and 2K is actually the best you can get. Okay, so I want to mess around with some PlayStation Portable, but unfortunately we cannot run this on 10 times resolution. It's just too much. So I just want to push it to the 8 times and just check out some load state. And I've noticed that we do get an overall okay performance on 8 times, but you can see it still struggles. So when it comes to PlayStation Portable, yeah, this is unfortunate. We need to have more power when it comes to this particular system. Let's put it on 6. Let's go back to the save state. And we actually see that we so much better overall performance, but we need to lower it to a certain resolution with this system, and that is quite a little bit of a bummer. So with PlayStation 3, it's very essential to have a very powerful CPU. Not only for the overall emulation performance, but also when it comes to loading up. Because with an i5 and quite a lot of cores and threads, it still takes up forever to load up actually one single game. And that's one of the downsides in the, let's say, PlayStation 3 emulation. If you can just want to have almost instant load, we need to have a very high powerful core. For example, if you have an Intel Core i9 or a very powerful AMD, you almost have instantly loading times for PlayStation 3. And this takes forever. And my PC over here, maybe you can hear it, it sounds like a freaking vacuum cleaner.
The acolytes before they can finalize their preparations for Satan's return. It won't be easy.
Level 1 defense formation.
Hold B button down to lock off. Release it or fire a homing missile.
Level 1 security door breach. Emergency formation. Intercept intruder.
When it comes to F-Zero or GX or another game that is really demanding, yep, on 2K resolution we do have an okay overall performance, but when it comes to a chipset like this in combination with the CPU-GPU combination, I would not like push it too far because this machine cannot really handle it. With this machine is of course not dedicated to gaming. I just wanted to see what can we actually like squeeze out of this. It's very cool looking design. It's kind of big for a mini PC because I have smaller options out there for different kind of brands. There's a lot of cool things you can actually play with this if you're looking at the indie games, older fighting games, AAA games like Street Fighter, but it comes with limitations. Thank you all for watching, consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.